All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how you're basically one step away from making your first 50,000 profit month and even etc. For your gym. Okay, and I want to highlight the word profit. A lot of you guys have cleared 50, 70, 80,000 dollars before with your gym, but you're not taking home 50, 60, 70,000 dollars. Okay, so a lot of margins with gym owners are absolutely brutal. So today we're going to be talking about the system that pretty much has able to bring me in my own personal business to be making over $70,000 per month. That has been my record month so far. That is profit, by the way. And I'm pretty much going from basically nothing. And the switch that I was able to make, going from, basically making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month to being able to, 10x that in the span of a couple months. Okay, so let's jump into how you can do this with your gym. And if you're somebody who's watching this video and you have already, reached out to us and booked a call, thank you for reaching out and thank you for doing that. And this is going to be a very critical video for you to understand a little bit about our philosophy going into, the call that you may have with myself or one of our team members. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So, obviously, I went and made that transformation myself, but obviously, I have done this for other gym owners. This is just me showing you that I know what I'm talking about and that I have some proof behind my systems. Okay, so Mr. Paul Anthony, he went from basically making $10,000 or so a month to being able to clear $65K a month, and that is profit as well, and collecting over $150K per month in LTV. Okay, in the range of 150 to 200. It's a little bit harder to track, but he is absolutely crushing it. We're spending multiple thousands of dollars a month. We're very consistent with him at roughly a 5 to 10x return on ad spend, meaning for every dollar we're putting into the ad machine, we're getting out $5 to $10 back out. Now, a lot of you guys are like, oh my God, what stock should I invest in? Okay, why don't you try to get a great return on your investment with ads? Okay, it's very possible. So here's one example of one of my clients. Another one of my clients, Roar Athletic Club, they went from doing around $45,000 a month in revenue, and in their first month of us working with them, they pretty much were able to generate $50K in new sales from the challenge that we were running for them. And we weren't running like a basic 6-week money back sort of challenge with them. We were doing a extremely high ticket, extremely precise challenge, which obviously I'm going to walk you guys through. But we were getting very great leads for dirt cheap, $2, $8 cost per lead. Great leads. And we were able to basically in the first month get them to that $100,000 threshold, which was absolutely amazing of running this. Okay. So that was incredible. Also, another one of my clients, Adam, he went from $6K a month to roughly $38,000 per month. Okay, he's spending roughly a couple $1,000s a month on ads. We were running those all for him, but we were also getting very great cost per lead. He made a great transformation, and the funny thing with this guy is he was a complete one-man show. He was training people completely by himself. Okay, so a lot of you guys, maybe you're watching this and you're a multi-person gym team, or maybe you're a one-man show yourself and you're like, do I have hope? Do I need to build a team? Yes, it does help. Yes, you can get leverage with that, but there is still a lot of viability in understanding how to gain leverage by doing things on your own. Okay? So one of my clients, Adam, he wrote, this is a funny message, not to be cheesy, but gratitude time. Thank you so much, bro, for everything. This isn't me breaking up with you. It's just genuinely grateful and appreciation of you. Blows my mind. Like, this shit has actually worked out. It's the first time I could say that. He got he worked with tons of other people before who made all these crazy promises, and you get the idea. But with him specifically, I remember first call I got on, and I do this with everybody I get on, every call that I get on, is I say to them, I say, hey, listen, I can't guarantee you any results. I'm not going to guarantee you that you're going to get any success with this, but what I can guarantee you is if you do the work, if you show up, if you're consistent, if you're asking questions, and you're learning constantly every single day, and you're disciplined, then you will get success. I can make that guarantee, but I can't guarantee that you are going to be that sort of person. Okay? So as you can see, like 6,700, great stuff. So And then last but not least, one of my clients, Isaac, this is a recent sort of case study. He was making around $6,000 a month. He had a small team and he just had an $86,000 cash collected month, which is absolutely crazy. He was doing about $6K a month about a year ago. And then a year ago, so by the time I'm recording this, it's roughly like October, November-ish. And 12 months ago, he was doing $6,000 a month, and now he's doing around 86, which is absolutely crazy. So now that we kind of got that out of the way, now that you understand that maybe I have an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to scaling health and fitness businesses, specifically gyms, we're going to jump into how most gyms operate, okay? So most gyms follow something like this. They start with capacity and not demand, okay? So a lot of gyms, what you'll do in your mind is you'll figure out how many members you can handle. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do the math. You scramble to fill it instead of building consistent lead flow first. So you're constantly like, oh, I can handle 100 members at $100 a month, therefore I can make this much money. Oh, I just want to get to that number. Rather than looking at it from an inverse point of view. They rely on inconsistent acquisition, okay? A lot of gym members are really relying on referrals, which is kind of a spin of the roulette wheel. Slow SEO traffic, which is also roulette, random social media posts, flyers, hope marketing, putting things out, wishing that, oh, maybe this time it's going to be different. And then time and time again, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Ultimately, no repeatable pipeline that brings in leads every single day. They chase new members while losing old ones. Okay. A large percentage of their new member base churns every single month, forcing them to work only to stay at the same number or be even less because they're spending money to get those clients and they're not actually growing. They'll hit seasonal plateaus. Happens a lot with most gyms. April to November, slow season. Okay? They treat their business like a job, not a system. Big thing that I see a lot of gym owners that are struggling with is in the range of, I want to say, like when you're like $0 per month to around 50, 60K per month, maybe 70 roughly. This is a job. This is not entrepreneurship for most gym owners. You are the coach, you're the marketer, you're the consultant, you are doing the sales, you're managing the team, you're, human resources, you're doing everything, you're wearing all the hats. And this is obviously, an unleveraged model at scale. And their pricing model traps them. Okay, most gym owners are charging, $100 or $200 per month, or let's say they're doing a personal training model where they're just directly training their own personal time or somebody else's time for money. And who trades their time for money? That's employment right there. That's basically, you're now capped by the amount of hours you can work. And you never want to be running a business where you are tied directly to how many hours you work. That is literally the entire point of a business, of being an entrepreneur, is to have something that works for you while you don't work. If you want to get a job and consistently put in hours to make money, you can do that, but then you are capped by the amount of hours you can put in. Okay? Cool. So what this looks like on a day-to-day basis, most gyms, like I said, they're spending money trying to get some clients. Let's say they get a $50 a month client. But they already spent money to get that client. They're waiting till next month to get ahead. And then churn kicks in, and then they're behind. And they're constantly playing this rabbit chasing game. Okay? And the typical economics of a low-ticket pricing model is, for example, input, which is marketing. Okay, let's say your cost per lead is 15 to 25. Let's say you have an idea of how to run ads. Your lead to member conversion rate is 1 in 3, okay, which is extremely high. For the benefit of the doubt, I'm just telling you some of these statistics, 33%. So your cost to acquire a client is roughly $45 to $75. Okay, and you're outputting $100 a month, which is, let's say, your membership cost. And your average retention is 3 to 4 months. Your average LTV is $300 to $400. But then if you calculate actually profit on top of that, most gyms, just in general, you're looking at rent, you're looking at paying trainers, you're looking at keeping the lights on, you're looking at insurance, you're looking at maybe equipment rentals. You're looking at a lot of things that just tank. And then ad spend as well, like the cost to actually get these clients. Huge margin hits. You're looking at potentially 50 to 60%. Okay, so $350 in revenue can turn into like $100 in profit per client. And that's before paying yourself, that's before ads management, that's before overhead. And you divide that across months, okay? $150 $115 divided by 3.5 months, which is that, LTV average stay per client, for example. And you're looking at $30 profit per month per client, which ends up basically break even, okay, once all of the other expenses are kind of put in. So you kind of see where I'm getting here. You're kind of putting in $1 to get $1. And you're not really playing a leveraged game in a sense. And I'm not saying that being a gym owner is unleveraged, because that's the farthest thing from the truth. You can make a ton of money with a gym and understanding how to run it. But that's the thing. You have to understand how to be leveraged with your model. Okay? So how do we fix this? Well, most gym owners think, I just need more clients. Okay, I got to add more volume into a system that's already inefficient. But it's not the truth. You can add a bunch of chaos. You can add more oil into a car that, let's say, doesn't even need oil, or more gasoline into your Tesla, thinking that, this is going to help it, or putting more gasoline into a car that, let's say, is already full on gasoline, but the engine's broken, and you're like, okay, let's just put more oil on the car, let's put more gasoline in it, but the engine's freaking broken. Okay, that's just gonna not do anything, pretty much. So the solution isn't to work harder or get more leads, it's to rebuild the foundations itself so every client is worth more. And when I say rebuild, this is not a huge process to do. This is just simple tweaks in your offerings and who you're serving within your gym. Okay, so phase 1 is building the foundation, the right offer and validation, and obviously right market. Okay, so number 1, market positioning. So first, you need to ensure you position your gym outside of the red ocean market where everyone is commoditized and competing on price. Okay, this is the thing you have to realize. Even though you're a gym and yes, you help everybody, it's going to be more difficult to make a lot of money if you're helping everybody with everything. This is kind of a tough red pill. Okay? And if you want to make more money with your gym, you have to simply get more clients or charge more money. Getting more clients takes on more entropy, more chaos, but charging more money will just simply increase the efficiency of the system. Okay? And in order to charge more money, you have to be in a market that can actually afford that actually desires a transformation, a lot of other factors as well. So you need to understand that first. Next, you'll need to select an offer for this market that won't make you feel like you need to fight with every prospect before they give you, that $6,000 to $8,000 or however much you're trying to potentially sell for, let's say, higher ticket services for fitness or personal training. Okay? So to do so, identify the top 20% segment of your clients. Okay, what do they all have in common? In most cases, 80% of your revenue will come from this 20% segment. Okay, so who are the people that come into your gym currently, who are the most loyal, who are coming in with their LV bags, who talk about their finance jobs, who whatever, and those are people who potentially are in a great deal of pain and need help, but they have the resources to do so. Those are the sort of people that we have to be targeting. Those 20% of people who are accounting for, let's say, 80% of revenue that's currently in your gym's business model. Okay? And then now you're just going to ask yourself, okay, what are the problems and what are the variables of these people and what do these people have in common that we can try to play with so that we can build an offer around the similarities and get more of these people? Because if 20% of people are generating 80% of the results or the revenue, just get more of the 20% of people. All businesses, no matter what, have 20% of people that produce 80% of the revenue of the business, period. That's a hard fact. And if you disagree with me, go run the numbers. And if you still disagree with me, you're probably calculating the numbers incorrectly. Okay? So yeah, go figure that out. Go figure out what those similarities are. And build out every solution and process that sort of person will need to succeed. Okay? So make it unreasonable for them not to achieve their goal. Okay? So a lot of gyms are simply solving one portion of the solution for that specific sort of person. You know, they're just giving them, oh, come in for training. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll give you some sort of nutrition. Okay? But you're solving a portion of the solution when these people just want the end goal. They just want to get to that desired lean body fat, look good on the beach, their wife loves them, their kids have respect for them, right? They don't have ED. Like a lot of, or for a mother, for example, she wants to feel good after menopause. She wants to feel strong. She doesn't want to have arthritis. She wants confidence in herself. She wants to go to the Holt Renfrew or, one of these department stores or a designer store and throw on a nice outfit and not be stressed out because, oh my God, her stomach's hanging out or her arms are not fitting in the dress. Okay? These people want a transformation. They don't want gym services. They want the end goal. So just give them the end goal. Design every possible solution to make it unreasonable for them not to reach that goal. It's very simple. A lot of gym owners are just not doing this. And that's just how to add more value to what you're offering. And when you can add more value to what you're offering, if you can build a better car, then you could sell that better car for more money. Pretty simple. And then number 4 is price package to collect cash up front. So you need to go from getting money later on to them getting money to pretty much getting money now. Okay, money in the future is never guaranteed. You may say and have contracts with people. You may have some sort of agreement with somebody, whatever it may be. You need to try to get people to give you as much as they possibly can of that contract value as soon as they can. Okay. Also, what happens is when you give somebody more time to pay for example, a contract, that also accounts for low commitment, low emotional investment, and that pretty much leads to them having a lower probability of reaching their goals within fitness. Okay? But if technically you're taking as much money as you can off of their hands as soon as you can, you're actually doing them a favor. You're basically forcing them to be committed now rather than later. And we all know in fitness, if you're a gym owner and you're watching this, the people who push off fitness, people who, I'm not really gonna, do this now, or I'll start Monday. They just never get started on Monday. It never happens. Or maybe they do for 2 days and then they stop. It always happens. You may disagree with me. You may think, Ashton, you're a bad person for saying this. Well, I actually think the opposite. I think that we're helping people by getting them to be more committed by trying to collect emotional investment, cash up front. Okay? Because their results are directly dictated to how committed they are, not necessarily how incredible your program is. Okay? Cool. And the churn rate with the gym industry is, like I said, very high. And the best way to decrease it is to just get cash when you can get it. Okay? Cool. So it's the upfront cash-heavy business flywheel. Okay? So people pay. They have high emotional investment. They have effort and seriousness towards it. They get results. That leads to trust. That leads to case studies. That leads to you marketing their success to get more of those people. More validation. More people. Keeps on going. So now we have a lot more leverage. Okay? A lot more leverage. Cool. Now phase 2 is about building volume and stability. Okay, so how do we have predictable systems and layered traffic to consistently get clients? So once the front end foundations are set correctly to have leverage, the next problem is stability. Big word, stability. You may have had a $50,000 profit month before. Congratulations. You're incredible. But have you had that every single month for the past year? Probably not. Okay? So most gyms can make money, but they can't do it consistently every month. They'll have a good month when referrals hit or when a few walk-ins close, and then nothing. Because they rely on 1 to 2 lead sources they ultimately can't fully control and track you putting in an input and getting out an output from that system. Relying on referrals, walk-ins, or word of mouth is fine until it isn't. Unstable lead sources like these are what create the feast and famine cycles, where you get a bunch of new clients, you feel incredible, maybe you take a trip, you go to Cancun, you go to Mexico, you lie on the beach, and then you come back, and then your system is not working anymore. Oh my God, and then you're back into famine, and then you feast again, and then it's just this up and down sinusoidal graph, just not really having any predictability. So the solution is building unshakable systems that make new leads and sales predictable. And that means layering traffic sources, organic, paid, referrals, upsells, and making sure each one has an actual proven process behind it. And this is what we do, okay? So we are paid ad specialists. That is the main source we do for our clients because we have found the most leverage with that. But we do help with organic because I'll explain this below, okay? But layering a lot of these systems together can allow you to achieve some level of success. So some of those systems should focus on people already inside your ecosystem as well. Okay, current clients, former clients, email lists or referrals. Then you have external growth levers such as organic or paid advertising or outreach. Okay, marketing to people already inside your ecosystem is great because there is already trust and they are a high converting audience. The problem is you're capped. If you have 1,000 people on your email list, you can only send a couple emails a week and then make a couple offers before just making so many offers where these people maybe are kind of losing some trust for you. There's only so many people to sell, before that pool runs dry. So to grow beyond your current ecosystem, you need consistent, controllable ways to bring in new people. And that's where organic and paid come in kind of hand in hand for gaining the most amount of leverage. So organic is exponential labor leverage and paid is linear capital leverage. So organic content will not make you any money for your first year to 2 years of you making content, most likely. If you're starting out, you don't have a crazy skill set, you're just posting content, most likely. But if you run paid ads, you can get a client tomorrow that pays you tomorrow, okay? And that figures out about you tomorrow within all a 6-hour window, okay? So the reason why organic is so much more exponential is with organic, one post could reach 10 people, but it could also reach 10 million. Obviously, you need a lot of skill set and know what to do to reach that 10 million. Both come from 10 to 20 minutes of input to create the video. You don't know what you're getting, which is a pro and con. But with paid ads, you know exactly what you're getting. And this is why I heavily rely on these, especially with local businesses such as gym owners, because you're not having to compete against a market such as the entire market online. You just have to compete against the other gyms that are within your area. And in order to do that, you don't have to create exceptionally crazy ads. You don't have to have an incredibly good offer because your market is limited to the people in your area. And the success of that is going to be determined by how well your competition is currently doing their system on ads. And 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be anything crazy. Okay? So if you have an idea of what you're doing with ads, then you should be getting a lot of success with that. But with organic, the biggest thing with this is if you're a local gym business, you can see a lot of growth and scalability with this. Like I said, exponential growth with virality. But again, you're wanting to target people within your area that you can actually serve. Organic is global, okay? Paid ads, you're setting your location radius 7 miles around your gym and you're only getting people within that radius, okay? So for example, you take one ad, a photo and some text and put money behind it, and for every $10 to $20 on average, you can reach 1,000 of your ideal clients on demand. And this is a big thing that I want to focus on. The reason why I love paid ads so much is with organic, like I said, you don't know who you're reaching. You could be putting out a video and it could get 10 million views, but 0.0001% of those people could be people are people who actually, let's say, need fitness or are even within your demographic or location, right? But if you're running an ad and you get 1,000 views on that ad, 1,000 of those people are going to be people within that location and who have shown interest to get help with fitness in the past. That's why Meta is feeding them, Facebook is feeding them the ad. That's why I love it so much. Okay, so CPM is called cost per 1,000 impressions. And we roughly sit anywhere from $13 to $6 to $15, in that kind of range, per 1,000 views. Okay? And the biggest misconception about ads is that they show these ads to anyone. Oh, I'm getting bad people. A lot of gym owners will say, oh, I'm just getting bad, horrible leads. And every platform like Meta, Google, TikTok, and YouTube are constantly scraping data and track everything. They track what you watch, how long you watch it, what you like, what you skip. When you go on Instagram, if you go on your phone and you scroll on your phone on Instagram or TikTok, the reason why your algorithm gets better and adjusts is because it wants to keep you on the app to consistently track data about what you like, so then it can then go to advertisers and say, hey, do you want to target guys who are interested in fitness? Okay, well, John has showed a lot of interest in losing weight based off of his algorithm. Let's go feed ads to John, and let's go see who else other than John has shown similar patterns, and let's go feed it to those thousands of people. Okay? That's why I love ads. Okay? And Meta gets over 700 million hours of data every single day from users. And that's growing more and more and more exponentially with the more people adopting social media. Okay, low estimate, 1.25 billion users multiplied by 34 minutes per day is 42.5 billion minutes, which is roughly 708 million hours per day. The algorithm knows exactly who you are, what you care about, and what you're most likely to engage. Because of this, it's become insanely accurate at finding the right people to put your ads in front of and the best time to put in front of them. So who to put in front and what time to put them in front as well. People have different buying behavior and buying patterns throughout the week. Okay? People are more likely to spend money on weekends, just in general. That's not even just like going out, that's just in general. People are more docile in the evenings and more dominant in the mornings. So you don't think that algorithm knows this and thousands of other things as well? It's pretty crazy stuff. Okay? So all of these factors of Facebook, Instagram, all of these social media platforms are just tracking the best audience to then sell it to you to then go find these people. That's all these platforms are really doing. Let's just go get the best possible people. So when somebody asks you now, oh, how do Facebook ads work? Well, it's very simple. You scroll on Facebook, you tell Facebook what you like, and then Facebook then sells what you like to people who are selling what you like. Very simple. Go give Meta some cash, go give Facebook some cash, and let them find the people. Let them do the work and go make sure that you obviously know what you're doing with the ads to build intent. And I'm going to be talking about how to do that now with ads, because I know a lot of people who are running ads but not getting any success. And there is strategy behind this, and there is a lot of work that has to go into understanding how to do this, but I'm going to explain it on a base level so you can have a somewhat decent concept of how this works. Okay? So pretty much you have an ad and you are trying to consistently educate people and warm them to the close. That's all you're pretty much doing. And if you put up an ad, you have to consistently educate that person to the close. So if, for example, ad is here on this side of the spectrum and collecting cash and closing them is on the other side of the spectrum, the only thing different from this to this is the level of education about yourself, your company, and you yourself and your company and what you do. So your offer, etc., how you kind of help people. Okay? Comfort. That's the only difference. So we have to find the best possible way in order to push that to get people towards that close. So pretty much what we do is we're running an ad, we're getting that lead, we're educating people, and then we're booking people in for a consultation. Okay? And this is where sales and marketing kind of come hand in hand. So what is the education step? So when you start increasing volume outside of your ecosystem, the type of traffic changes, and so does how people respond. Example, walk-ins and referrals already know about you. Their friend has told them about you. The level of trust and education is so high that they already halfway sold before they even talk to you. Their friend has already hyped it up. So when it comes to cold traffic, strangers, okay, that trust and familiarity hasn't been built yet. Most gym owners think, oh, the leads are bad, when in reality, they're just uneducated, okay? All people, all consumers that could possibly be buying what you're selling can be put into a graph like this, okay? Only 3% of people are in a buying mode, meaning that if they see something that currently fits what they're looking for, they will just go and buy it right then and there. 3% of people. 17% of people are in information gathering mode. Oh, I'm just looking, I'm deciding my options. 20% of people are problem aware, and 60% of people are not problem aware. So the mass majority of people don't even know that they have the problem yet. Okay? So what most people are doing is they're then just going and running an ad and saying, hey, 3% of people who know the problem they have already and are self-aware, they're problem aware, they've done their information gathering, just come, 3% of people, come. Okay? And they're leaving 97% of the other people because they don't want to do that extra education step and leave those other 97% of people, and help those 97% of people because they don't really know about this. Okay? So the way you get somebody from not problem aware to buying now mode, like I said, is just through comfort, through education. Okay? Building comfort and value. So when we're running ads, we are trying to take people who are not problem aware, or even information gathering mode, and we're trying to push that 60% to problem aware. We're trying to take problem aware to information. Then we're trying to get information to some sort of offer to act then and there. Education. So 9 times out of 10, the real issue won't be the quality of lead, but the fact that the education process is not being replicated like it is with walk-ins and referrals. Walk-ins and referrals are pre-sold through friends, reviews, or results they've seen firsthand. Cold traffic doesn't get that. Unfortunately, instead of building the same trust and context, most gyms try to force the sale relying on, sales tactics or objection handling, over-promising, and high-pressure consults just to get people to buy. This is why, actually, if you run an ad and you say free consultation, most people get scared. Okay? This is just the thing. People are catching on that consultation doesn't mean consultation. It means sales meeting. You're going to pitch me and you're not going to let me leave the room. Come into the room. Let me close the door so we can have a chat about your goals. Doesn't work like that. Okay? The better approach is to build systems that educate and engage cold traffic the same way warm leads get educated, so the value of each prospect goes up and you have a bigger TAM. You have a bigger adjustable market rather than just those 3% of people, without needing to rely on pushy or manipulative sales methods. So we want to take them through the 5 stages of awareness. So unaware, okay, potential customers don't recognize the problem your product or service solves. We want them to understand, okay, they're aware of the problem, okay, but they haven't identified the solution. Okay, so for example, I actually have a health issue. I actually need to solve this. Or I have an aesthetic issue. Wow, I look really bad. Wow, I caught myself in the mirror, when I was reaching for that donut, and I had a slight kind of like panic attack because I didn't realize I looked that bad. Problem aware, okay? Solution recognition, okay? So solution, now they're understanding and exploring various solutions to solving that issue. Pretty simple. And then product aware, where customers are aware of your specific product or service and comparing it to competitors. And then from there, now we have a hot audience. So customers have previously purchased or are highly engaged and ready to convert. So you want people to be in obviously this product and hot audience sort of rough stage. And the way you do that is through this education, okay? Through educative sales assets, through marketing your ads correctly, combining this with sales, combining this with nurturing. And this is exactly what we do with our clients when it comes to ads. we are setting up multi-level ad campaigns where how it works is we are taking people who don't know anything about us, and we're seeing, okay, what people have now been, who have watched this, don't know anything about us ad, which we're pretty much in this first cold ad, we're trying to get people somewhat aware that they have a problem, okay? What are the top 10% of watch viewers for those sort of people? Let's push those people to now another ad that's going to get them solution aware, okay? Now they recognize that, okay, there are solutions. Now let's take the top 10% of watch viewers and push them to your business aware, product aware, service aware. Okay, now they're learning about yourself, okay? Now let's take the top viewers for that, and let's push those people to an offer and a CTA with a great offer as well. Come in for a free fat loss session. Come in for a free fat loss walkthrough. Come in for a free gym tour. Come talk with our fat loss experts. It's totally free, okay? You may get pitched. So you do this through educative sales assets, like I said. You do this through having a good system, like I said. So the more you can educate them, the more trust will be present in your closing percentage, cash collected, and client commitment will all increase. So from our own numbers, the value per closing call for people who were not familiar but willing to learn, out of 100 sales calls that we personally did, our average cash collected was about $330. But people who were familiar but willing to implement, out of 100 sales calls, we were able to cash collect about 500, okay? The goal with ads is to get within a 7 to 10x return on investment with every ad dollar we put in. And with this, I'm actually missing the third step to this. So familiar but willing to implement. And then people who have watched over 7 hours of our content, our average cash collected was $3,500 with that, okay, out of 100 sales calls. So that's the third. I don't know why I didn't get in here, but there's 3 levels to this, obviously. Okay, so meaning spending 1K on ads results in making 7 to 10K back. To achieve this, everything must be tracked diligently, obviously, because you want to know what you're putting in and what you're getting out, so that you can just consistently see, like when you open up your stock portfolio on your phone, if you're investing in stocks, you see the little graph, track. You're seeing it increase. You know where things are going. You kind of have an idea of, okay, I'm going to invest in this. It's all tracked. Okay, and without tracking, same thing with this, it's impossible to see how you're growing. So more volume will inevitably expose the weak points in your processes and allow you to understand where your bottlenecks are coming from. If you do not fix these bottlenecks as you grow, you'll just hit another plateau and keep losing customers. So tracking and understanding this is important. To compensate for profitability going down as you scale, every time you want to scale up your budget to unlock the next level and go from $100 a day to $300 a day, for example, you need to fix the bottlenecks in your funnel to constantly stay profitable, okay? This could be things like I'll just give you a client example. I have a client who thought that he needed a lower cost per lead, and then I asked him what his closing rate was, and I did a consultation role play with him, and he was horrible at sales, like pretty bad. He was messing up on objections. He was messing up on just understanding, how to set frame. He was just like a lot of the things he was doing was just simply incorrect. Okay, so I went back and just let's get you good at sales. Let's give you a script. Let's get you in there, and then let's get that closing rate to 30-40%. Let's see if we can maintain that, and then let's take it from there. Okay, and then we can increase budget. Cool. And then that leads us into the final phase, which is delivery and scale. Okay, so client experience and team leverage. So the next constraint always shows up in client experience and delivery. Most gym owners hit a ceiling here, not because they can't get clients, but because they can't handle more without burning out or breaking something internally. They're stuck wearing every hat. They're the marketer, the coach, closer, manager, janitor. They're doing everything. And it's great. You're an entrepreneur. You're a hustler, but it's not scalable. It's not leveraged. Okay? The goal is to build an asset that delivers results without you needing to do everything yourself. That means building standardized systems that your coaches and staff can run without your constant involvement. Standardizing how clients are onboarded, trained, and tracked. So that's consistent across the board. Creating repeatable fulfillment processes that protect the client experience as you scale. If you have solid systems in place, every new client adds profit. If you don't, you will feel like, oh my God, I got a bunch of new clients, but I feel more stressed out than ever. When you get new clients, you should feel euphoric and you should feel relaxed because you have those systems in place. Because I guarantee you, if you run ads correctly and if you are going to follow the process that obviously I'm going to show you or I have roughly talked about, then you will achieve a level of success, but it's up to you to ensure that that system is correct where people can go into. Okay. Secondly, we need to ensure the client journey is extraordinary. Okay. You can technically make money with a subpar product and good marketing. However, you won't end up having a business a year from now. Okay. People won't stay long. They'll complain. They won't refer their friends. And it's just a low sum game. This is where mastery and excellence come in, and creating an experience so good, clients stay longer, get better results, bring others with them. Pretty simple. Look at Apple. Okay. Details matter. It's worth waiting to get it right. People who have bought an iPhone are like literally locked in for iPhone for life. I actually want to even know. I don't even know what the average lifetime value is for an Apple user. I want to say probably around 10 to 15 grand. If you think about it, there's headphones, there's the AirPods, there's phones that they bought throughout their lives, there's iTunes, there's Apple Care, there's all these softwares for protecting, there's iCloud updates, there's the Apple fees. Right? It's probably extremely high, okay? Because they have a great journey and people are locked in because their product is incredible. So, making a good product. So, price to value discrepancy. So, when people start saying no, it's because the price to value discrepancy is no longer there. So, that price to value discrepancy, so the point of cancellation is the moment the value dips below the price is when people will obviously stop buying or when existing customers cancel and refund. And this is not based off of legitimate value. This is based off of how they feel about the value, which is a big distinction. The only reason people cancel or churn is because what they're getting no longer feels worth it, period. You can list 100 reasons why somebody will churn and you can all relate them back to this line right here. If you built a product where every time somebody gives you $100, they get $1,000 in return, nobody would ever cancel because the price to value discrepancy is high. Your goal should be to deliver that same kind of value in a leveraged, scalable way so clients get an unbeatable system without burning you or your team out. Okay? Because at the end of the day, getting new clients in the door will only matter if you can consistently deliver results, create valuable transformations, and keep them long term. Okay? So in this call that if you've reached the end, and you're ready to achieve some results like this with some of our clients who, have achieved incredible results, okay, like, Aurora Athletic or even King's Fitness or Dream Body Calgary or Jensen Fitness or a lot of these companies who've reached multiple six figures per month, a lot of these gym owners, okay, we're going to be pretty much going through on this call these steps and building a solution where we can optimize for each of these steps. Because I can tell you right now, if you've made it to the end of this video, that if your business is not getting success and you think that, oh, I'm just going to go and run ads and everything's going to work out, and you have mediocre systems or your churn is super high or your fulfillment is off or your offer is off or your market's off or like all of these things outside of ads, then I'll guarantee you right now that me running ads for you is not going to get you any sort of better success. Okay, our business spends roughly around $350,000 a month on ads across our clients, and I don't want to take on another client and add that, make that $360,000 a month. Okay, in terms of ad spend. Okay. If I know that, hey, you have to do X, Y, and Z first to guarantee that we're going to get that success. And I'll be the first person to tell you that as well. Okay? Because I've worked with so many people who are like, I just need ads. Meanwhile, it's not just the ads. It's not just marketing. And that's what we do. We're a marketing agency. We help people and we help gym owners build ads. And that's how I started with this actual model is just, I was a fitness coach myself. I had people who I was training. They're like, hey, can you run ads for this gym that I have? Can you run ads for my health business? Can you run ads for my personal training? And people kept asking me, how are you getting clients for your own personal training? That led into me helping people with scaling their own gyms. And I just started, learning ads. And it was great. I was running ads for people. But then I started to realize, hey, it's not all about just marketing. It's not all about just ad spend and getting some good creatives and some good copy. Yes, that's a huge factor. Marketing is a big factor. But I don't want to put more water into a bucket that's leaky, that has holes in it, that's just going to be inefficient. Let's take some time to go through our market, our offer, our fulfillment. And then once we have those in place where we can extract more value from customers, where we know what we're doing, then we can unlock our way and make it unreasonable to not reach $100,000 a month in profit or $150K a month in profit, which is very doable if you already have a good base. If you're already making $20,000 to $50,000 a month, it's very easy. I don't want to say it's very easy, okay? But with the right systems in place, you can do it, and with a lot of discipline, hard work. Okay? So thanks for watching. And obviously, like I said, I have an idea of what I'm doing. I've worked with hundreds of gyms, hundreds of clients, just to show you that, we've gotten some great results for some of our clients. You can take a pause here and read through some of these, but that's the idea. We've had several clients scale to several $100K a month, and I've worked with lots of companies who are even spending $100,000 a month on ads, like multiple $100,000 a month on ads. So you think that, oh, it's cool, I'm making $50K a month. Imagine spending $50K a month on ads. So hope you got some value from this nonetheless, and I'm looking forward to whatever time you booked, and thanks for watching.